Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Post Route Show. And now, here's your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening and welcome to the Post Route, the show where we dive deep into conversations with Black quarterbacks, both past and present. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings, and our show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Phi Back, the preeminent fraternity for Black quarterbacks and the home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only national award that honors both the top quarterback from an HBCU and the top Black quarterback from high schools across America. What a great honor that is. We're thrilled to have you with us tonight. So if you enjoyed the content and would like to support us, it's very simple. You can subscribe to the channel. You can hit the like button. You can tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can even send us a donation. Whatever your amount you figure is good. Join us live every Monday night at 7 p.m. for more phenomenal shows, as Monday night on Eastern Standard Time for more phenomenal conversations. Well, we're going to kick off tonight's show a little bit differently than we normally do. We are waiting on our guest for tonight. So as we wait for him, we want to go ahead and give you a little bit of some history as it relates to Black quarterbacks in one of the most exciting football leagues there is on the planet. And if you've never been to one, let me tell you, you owe yourself a favor and take one in, because I don't think there is any more of an exciting game to watch than arena football or indoor football, depending on what part of the country you're in and what your league is for your city or home team, because these games are so action-packed and you're never out of the game, for the most part, because these games get into the high scores, 40, 50, 60, sometimes 70 points. Nothing strange or new to the Arena Football League or the Indoor Football League. And since the inception of the Arena Football League back in 1987, and even though that league has seen many changes, it's gone from being around to not being around, the concept, and if you think about playing football in your neighborhood, in the backyard or in the playground or wherever, you probably weren't playing a whole football field. You're probably playing 50, maybe 60 yards at the most. But this concept of arena/indoor football, where the fields are basically 50 yards in length, sideline to sideline, about 20 yards, 30 yards. And of course, the unique thing about the sidelines are they have the walls like they have in hockey set up all the way around the perimeter of the football field, even to the back of the end zone. And the teams stand outside the walls like they do in hockey. And it's almost like watching hockey without the sticks in some aspects, based on how they substitute and how the fact that unless you're knocked into that wall or those panels on the sideline, you can touch that and keep going if it's not by a defender. And while this league has been around since 1987, approaching 40 years of existence, you don't really know a lot about the players, because if you're not going to the games aren't really on TV. So, and they aren't live streamed. So that aspect has never been a part of arena football, where the media or TV attention is giving them much prominence and much visibility. But all in all, somewhat like hockey, the environment and the marketing is somewhat like minor league baseball. And if you've ever been to a minor league baseball game, you know that for 9 innings, something is going on at the ballpark. From inning 1 to inning 9, something is going on, and it's constant. And arena football is no different. It's constant movement and action. The difference is you don't have that sort of pause between batters like you have in the minor league, but between scores or during timeouts, some type of promotion is always going on. The panels are filled with advertisers. The scoreboards are filled with all kinds of advertisement hitting you. And of course, I'm sure they've got a lot of things going on with the marketing teams in the stands to keep the fans involved and excited about the game. So when we talk about the teams, and some states have more than one, some cities have more than two, it's just exciting. And over the course of time, there have been a total of 60 different leagues. And like the NFL, they've only had one black quarterback to be inducted into their Hall of Fame. We'll get to him a little later. But when we talk about these quarterbacks and what they've done over time, some of them have played in 3 leagues: arena/indoor football, Canadian football, and or the NFL. Now, one guy has played his whole career in arena football, amassed great yardage, championships, and like I said, the only black quarterback in the Arena Football League Hall of Fame. So that in itself speaks highly of him. But when we talk about the other guys who have come along to make themselves known, especially probably over the last 10 years, almost 15 years, last couple of decades, there have not been that many who have etched their name in the annals of arena football. Now, I would like to give you some names that have been inducted into the Indoor Football League Hall of Fame, which is separate from the Arena League. They both are played similarly, but just like Canadian and NFL, they're 2 distinct leagues. So between 2014 and 2022, these guys have done a remarkable job. And the first guy I would like to talk to you about is a guy by the name of Houston Lillard. Played his collegiate football at Southeast Missouri, played for the Tri-Cities Fever, and played 5 years. And during his time with the Fever, he led the team to 2 consecutive indoor championships in 2011 and 2012, earned all AFL or Indoor League honors, and he finished his career with 9,102 passing yards, 208 touchdowns. Now, the thing you got to love about the AFL or the IFL, as they call it, is that these guys hit these numbers for throwing touchdowns like you would not believe. I mean, because the game is so fast and it happens so quickly. So hitting 100 touchdowns is not that hard to do. But when you get past a couple of 100, 300, 400 touchdowns, that means your career has had longevity. You've been around to play that long. You stayed healthy enough to play that long, and you've had some successes. So Houston Lillard, former quarterback at Southeast Missouri, won 2 championships with the Tri-Cities Fever. The next guy, Jamil Sewell, 2-time league MVP during his 6-year career. outstanding quarterback at the University of Virginia during his college days, beginning his career in 2011 as a member of the Green Bay Blizzard, making remarkable plays. Dual threat guy. And, we talk about these dual threat quarterbacks in this day and time and how phenomenal a lot of these guys are becoming. And that just seems to be the way pro football is going. Dual threat, meaning you can run and pass equally, I guess. Some can pass better than can run, and others can run better than can pass. But when the pressure gets on them and it's time to make the plays, that's what they do. So Jamil Sewell started his career with the Green Bay Blizzard in 2011. He then went on to play for the Nebraska Danger in 2012 and led the team to 3 consecutive United Bowl championships between 2013 and 2015. Again, United Bowl championships, Super Bowl championship. It's just names, but their distinctions let you know that these guys are champions. In 2013, he was named the IFL MVP after leading the league in passing yards for 2,531 yards and rushing for 654 yards. He earned that honor again in 2015 when he led the Danger to another United Bowl championship. He ranks 3rd all-time in IFL history in rushing touchdowns with 88, 5th in rushing yards with 2,157, and 6th in passing touchdowns with 151. He was twice named a first-team All-IFL Indoor Football League member, Jamil Sewell. And then the next guy, name is Chris Dixon, and he's considered at this time to be the greatest indoor football league in league history. After a stellar career at Humboldt State, Dixon began his career in 2005 and over a 5-year span won 5 United Bowl championships. 5. In his first year, in 2009, he guided the Billings Outlaws, and that's probably Billings, Montana, to the United Football Championship, UBC, and again in 2010. Then he signed with Sioux Falls up in North Dakota, and compiled a 40-2 regular season record and 3 additional United Bowl championships. Winning a total of 5, Dixon is a 3-time league MVP, a 4-time United Bowl MVP, a 4-time Offensive Player of the Year, and a 5-time All-IFL team selection. Now, with stats like that and a career like that, we gotta get this guy on the post route. I mean, who wouldn't want to talk to him about those type of credentials? And we are looking forward to an opportunity to meet him, interview him, and of course, bring him into the brotherhood. So we're looking forward to doing that. His passing records during his career and postseason records, he passed for 68%. Now, you are pretty accurate when you're passing for almost 70% of the time. He ended his career 12,693 passing yards, 323 career passing touchdowns. He didn't play that long, but while he was there, he was spinning it. And if you get a record of 40-2 during a very short timeline, you've got to be something special. And you have to wonder sometimes, why is it that some of these phenomenal quarterbacks who are gifted and talented don't make it to the NFL? Or if they do get to the NFL, they don't get opportunity. Or if they get there, their opportunities are limited. Well, let's just consider this fact. What is meant for them and where they're supposed to be is where they end up. So Chris Dixon, his journey, his football career path was already carved out for him to be the greatest ever in the Indoor Football League. Chris Dixon, Humboldt State, kudos to you, sir. And then our fourth guy who we want to recognize, Terrence Bryant, came out of Oregon State, 7 years in the IFL, starting with the Sioux Falls Storm from 2005 to 2011. He led the Storm to 5 United Bowl championships between 2005, 2008, and then in 2013. So you can see where Chris Dixon jumped in between those years that Terrence Bryant was winning. He was named the United Bowl MVP in 2006 and 2013. An all-league selection between 06, 07, and 08, and was the league MVP in 2006. During his career, he passed for 15,011 yards, 280 touchdowns, and when he guided the Storm to a 7th United Bowl championship, winning that game in front of the home fans. Now, you know, when you win that championship in front of the home fans, not just fans from your hometown who come to a neutral place to play, it's even a bigger deal. So he wins the United Bowl championship in front of the home fans, and on top of that, named what? MVP. So again, these are 4 phenomenal gentlemen who have made their names known, inducted into the IFL Hall of Fame. Once again, they are Houston Lillard with Tri-Cities, Jamil Sewell with Green Bay and Nebraska, Chris Dixon with Billings and Sioux Falls, and Terrence Bryant, also of Sioux Falls. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. That's all you really can say about guys like this. Phenomenal. I mean, because think about it. The first thing all athletes want to do is stay healthy so they can play longer. Now, all of these guys stayed healthy to win championships, MVP honors, all league honors. And although they may not have played very, very long, the amount of work they put in for those years, phenomenal work, phenomenal things that they did. So kudos to each one of these guys, and they're in the IFL Hall of Fame. So obviously they are talented. So congratulations to them. Now, when we jump over to the Arena Football League, because that was the IFL, we've got a couple of guys who have made their names known and done some outstanding things. And dating back to, and I'm going to do this in reverse order because I'm going to save the best for last. So in 1993, Fred McNair out of Alcorn State, Steve McNair's big brother, played in the Arena Football League. And during his time in the Arena Football League, he passed for 19,352 yards, 340 touchdowns. That was between 1993 and 2002. Then in 1996, Ricky Foggy, formerly of University of Minnesota, played in the Arena Football League from 96 to 2004. And during his time, he played there and he played in Canada. And during his time, and we know that Ricky is already one of our brothers in the quarterback fraternity, Ricky threw for 17,921 yards, 325 touchdowns. So again, Ricky did a great job. Minnesota, AFL, and the CFL. Then in 2000, we got a guy from Northeast Louisiana State. Name was Ray Filyaw. Played for 11 years. And during his time in the AFL, he passed for 26,562 yards, 507 touchdowns. And again, a phenomenal group of quarterbacks who played in the AFL. However, the guy we're going to give kudos to and let everyone know how awesome he was a guy who played at Cal State Northridge in his college days up until from 1990 to 93, or 92 rather, 1989 and 92. A name you definitely, I know I had not heard of him until, again, when I get on my research tricks, man, and just start turning over rocks and flipping pages, I start finding all kinds of information about guys. This guy, oh my goodness, had an okay college career, went on to do some things as he played at Cal State Northridge, led it in 4 collegiate sports between 1987 and 1990, football, basketball, volleyball, and he was a high jumper in track. And in his senior season in football, he led the Cal State Northridge Matadors to a Co-Western Conference championship in 90 and a Division II berth that same year. The Cal State University Northridge teams were pretty good when he played there. And during his career, 4-year career, he went 319 completed passes for 637 attempts, 3,533 yards, and 18 touchdowns. He was inducted into the C-Sun Matadors Hall of Fame in 1998. I know you're saying, well, Earl, who is this guy? Who is he? Okay. His name is Sherdrick Bonner. Sherdrick Bonner. Now, that was just a snippet of his collegiate time. But where he is really, truly, truly known is his Arena Football League career. In 1993, he started his career in the Arena Football League. Now, mind you, the league had only started in 87. So here, 7 years later, he comes on the scene, starts playing with the Arizona Rattlers. 13 seasons with the Rattlers, 1 season with the Chicago Rush. Now, he did get an opportunity to play or earn a roster position in the NFL between 1998 and 1999. Was on the Atlanta Falcons practice squad, but then he went back to the AFL. He also made the Arizona Cardinals and San Diego Chargers practice rosters, but that only means you're getting a check, and you're on their practice roster, but you're not seen. And only if something happens, as they say, you're only one play away from, getting the call. However, he, at the time we did this information purge into finding out who he was the winningest quarterback to ever play in the AFL, posting 134 regular season victories 21 playoff wins as of April 2007. Over his career, he completed 3,350 passes. 3,350 passes. You're spinning that football a lot, man, based on that type of career. Then you throw for 42,246 yards. That is an abundant amount of yardage to be passing in a league where you're just going up the field 50 yards. I mean, think about how many games that is and how many, times he threw for over 400 or 500 yards in a game. Now, here's the thing that's probably going to really make your eyes pop out. In his career, Sherdrick Bonner threw 855. That's 855 touchdown passes. I'm going to just let that sink in for a little while. 855. He is considered one of the greatest players to ever play in Arena Football League. He had 3 seasons where he passed for 80 touchdowns, with his highest of 89 coming in 2003. He had 9 seasons where he passed for over 3,000 yards. And he ranks fifth on the all-time passing list for arena football. 5th at 42,000. So some other guys put up a little bit more than that. But Bonner led the Rattlers, to the 1994 Arena Bowl 8. It was named MVP of that game. He earned all Arena League honors 5 times. 1997, 1998, 2000, 2002, and 2003. And like the great Warren Moon, who is the only black quarterback to ever be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame, we know others will be coming. We just don't know when. Okay. He had his number retired, number 13 in 2010, and he was inducted into the Arena Football League Hall of Fame in 2012. Sherdrick Bonner. Got to remember that name. His other honors includes second team All-Arena team in 97, first team All-Arena in 98, second team in 2000, second team in 2002, and first team in 2003. So, as you can see, a guy who had a longevity career, 14 seasons, like our other brother, Damon Allen, who played 23 years in the Canadian Football League. Healthy is the bottom line to these guys. Being healthy. Taking a lot of hits, especially when you're playing on that turf. That turf is unforgiving. And when you're playing in addition to playing on the turf, in a lot of the arenas some of these guys are playing in, they also have ice for hockey. So that ground that they're playing on is pretty unforgiving. So you got to acknowledge the fact that here was a guy who, while he got opportunities to be on the rosters of some NFL teams, one of the greatest to ever play Arena Football League. Sherdrick Bonner, we congratulate you and hats off to you, because you, sir, are one of the greatest. And if anyone out there knows how to get in touch with Sherdrick Bonner, let him know that the post route and quarter 5 back is looking to bring him on our show so we can talk to him about his phenomenal career. Now,
All right, Mr. Kitchings. Our
is
guest
he
is
here?
here. Yes.
All right, well, let me do a very, very quick timeout, and we will come back and join our guest of the evening. As you know, each week we do our show. We want to invite you to purchase some of our merchandise. So if you're interested, you can get our Quarter-5 Back logo t-shirt, polyester blend, nylon blend, logo on the front and back, a beautiful shirt, only $40, $48 for those in the larger sizes. Then if that's not good enough for you, hey, how about this one? Get your golf shirt. If you play golf, get your golf shirt. $55 for that one. Same kind of deal, made out of polyester nylon, logos on the front and back. The golf shirts in black, the t-shirts in burnt orange. And then if you just got to go the least expensive way, you can get our logo t-shirt for $25. So any merchandise you want to do at this time, you can send us an email to order it. We'll get it out to you ASAP. As we tell you, our polyester blend shirts are custom made, so it takes a little bit longer than our cotton shirts. So I'm going to leave it at that because I got to get this guy on and bring him into the studio. And Miss Kennedy, bring him on in. Yes, indeed. I've been waiting a long time to talk to this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just give you the introduction of our guest tonight. Hometown Belgrade, Florida, Belgrade Central High School, home of the Raiders. 2023 Deacon Jones Trophy winner. 2024 Legacy Bowl Offensive MVP. A 2023 box throw HBCU All-American. HBCU All-American for College Football Network. A FCS All-American in 2023, a two-time MEAC Offensive Player of the Year, a three-time All-MEAC selection, the Celebration Bowl 2022 Offensive MVP, and he led the Eagles to a national championship. Man, I know that's a mouthful, but ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest tonight, Davius Richard, formerly of North Carolina Central University. Davius, welcome to the Post Route.
Man, it's great to be here, man. I'm just
man.
First of all.
Well, hey, we have been waiting on the time when we can talk to you because we have followed you, man, since you have put up some great numbers and done some miraculous things over there in Durham, North Carolina, playing for those Eagles, man. And all I can say is, wow, what a career. What a career. What was it like going through those 2 years over there, Davius, playing for the Eagles, man, and then winning that championship in the Celebration Bowl the way you did? Because a lot of people didn't think you were going to pull it out.
You're right about that. Before I get to the question, can I ask where you from?
Jacksonville, Florida.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Florida babies.
That's right. I know a little bit of something about them boys down there in the muck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Great program, Belgrade Central, man. Great program.
Yeah, Glade Central.
Yes, sir.
Definitely great. Well, just, to touch on your question as far as playing at North Carolina Central, man. I've been all 4 to 5 years. I went through that COVID. I came in 2019 from, of course, Glade Central High School. And ended up starting as a freshman after like the third or fourth game. I can't remember right away. And then just been starting since. And from my time now, I done seen the ugly, the bad, the good, and the great. Just been from my freshman season playing, like I said, the third or fourth game of the season, going 4-6, to the next year getting hit by COVID, had to go home, spend a whole year just going against each other, seeing the same guys every day in, day out for a whole year. Until we was able to play the next season in 2021. We opened up in Atlanta against Alcorn State, so the MEAC SWAT Challenge. And
there you go.
So from there, man, down to that season, finishing 6-5, having hopes to go to the Celebration Bowl that season, but ultimately fell short. And then just having that weight on our shoulders going into the off season of 2022 of January, and then just having that feeling, knowing we were so close, but it was in our hands and we let it slip through, man. We just took that personally. going through the off season of 2022 from January all the way up until July. And man, I was just telling you, it was just straight, same consistent message throughout the whole team, throughout the head coach, the coaching staff, the strength and conditioning coach, the players, everybody. You know, just head down and work. Don't worry about what anybody else saying. Don't worry about this and that. Just put your head down and work. We knew how close we was the season prior, and then we know it was hunting for something. Then coming into that 2022 season, man, I just knew it was different. Opening up in Charlotte at the Panther Stadium against our rival, the school down the way. I don't want to speak on their name or be them that kind of. But playing that game it was just great being able to play that night game. I still remember one key moment just going into the fourth quarter. They shut off all the lights in the stadium and all the fans just had their lights on the phone on, man. And it was just beautiful to see. But just how that season transpired, even going into mid-season when we went to South Carolina State. Mm-hmm. And then last year, the prior, it was that same game that kind of held us back from going to Celebration Bowl. And then, you know, just going enough into a dogfight, man, to a rough environment down there in South Carolina, and then ultimately coming up short by a couple points. When we knew we went back Sunday and watched that game and knew we were supposed to win that game, but we beat ourselves. And then just that same feeling came back from last year, from the year prior, just like, dang, bro, same thing happened last year. We fell short for going to Celebration Bowl, and it just like kind of shook up the team a little bit, but you know, we had great leaders on that team that year, and myself, Latrell Collier, E.J. Higgs from the defensive side, Cole Jones, Manny Smith, Khalil Baker. Man, we had a lot of guys that kind of conveyed that message that Sunday. Like, man, look, I know what happened yesterday, but we can't control it as in the past. All we can do is just worry about what we got in front of us and go on 1-0 each week. And then fast forward to the MEAC game of the year, we went down to Norfolk State and won. And then that's when you seen all the celebration come out, the posters, the trophies saying that we won the MEAC, and we had punched our ticket to the Celebration Bowl. And then just from there, coming down to Atlanta, in a hostile, a biased environment, a lot of people, analysts, fans, celebrities, picking up the team, man, just off a name, not knowing the work that we put in throughout that season to get there. Like they acting like we just didn't play anybody else. We just got handed the ticket to go there, but we worked our butt off the whole season to get to that point. So winning that game was just a little icing on the cake.
Well, you know, Davius, you know, just adversity, man. You know, they say what don't kill you make you stronger. So you guys went through a lot of adversity. You needed to go through the adversity to get to where you got, because if you had not gone through that, maybe you would have never gotten to the Celebration Bowl. So you guys went through the adversity. But what just really rings out to me is the fact that when you talk about your teammates and how everybody just really locked into, hey, man, we got to work and not pay attention to any outside distractions. So seeing you guys work that hard, man, and I know your coaching staff was working hard, man, and the fan base was just all into it. Watching you guys play for the national championship, man, that was a great thing. How did you end up getting from Belgrade, man, all the way to Durham? I mean, how did that happen?
It's just because how my recruiting played out in high school. I wasn't a big recruit, didn't have any stars, anything of that nature. Didn't have a lot of offers. Going into my senior year, like that spring of my junior year, we had our spring game. I still remember we played Deerfield Beach. And then just like after the game, within a 2-week period, I had picked up 3 offers from Alabama A&M, Colgate, and Delaware State. And those are the only 3 offers I really had going into the summer. Of course, I talked to a lot of teams, a lot of FCS teams, D2s, FBS, the whole spectrum. But going into my my senior season of high school, throughout the season, I wasn't really in contact with no coaches as far as like the offers that I had. And even other schools that was interested, it wasn't really heavy. It was kind of just like hearing again general information, kind of like we got you on the boat, we're just gonna watch it. And then coming into the end of my season, like late December, early January, around that time, like I said, I only had 3 offers. I ended up stopped talking to Colgate for some reason I can't remember. Same thing with Delaware State, and the only school in contact was Alabama A&M at the time. And then I don't know what happened, but the coach recruiting me from Alabama A&M, he ended up leaving Alabama A&M and going to North Carolina Central when Coach Oliver first got hired around like that December, January time. So when that transition happened, I guess however it played out, he went to tell Coach Oliver about me or something like that. But next thing you know, I had Central recruiting me like early, mid-January. And, you know, signing day like February 7th, first week of February.
Right.
So around that time, I'm talking to a lot of D2s, a lot of prep schools, and then I'm talking to Central. They trying to get me out there to a visit. I ended up going on a visit, and like a week before or like during the week leading up to my visit, I ended up talking to Eastern Kentucky, and they was like, you know what, we like you. We want to get you up for a visit. They were trying to get me up for a visit the same time I had Central, but I was like, I already made commitments. I already said I was going to be there that weekend, so I was like, I'll come the next weekend or whatever. But either way, I came to Central on that Friday, went through the whole shebang, met the whole coaching staff, met a lot of the players, and then Saturday night, I still remember Coach Oliver was at a dinner, and Coach Oliver pulled me up to the side with my aunt because my aunt came with me to the visit. And he just put me up to a private room. It was like, you know, we like you. We've kind of been observing you from the season to even on your visits, trying to see how you move, see if you're the right fit for the program. And it just kind of sat me there. It was like, you know, you're our number one guy on the board, and we want to offer you a full scholarship. And then at the time, like, I don't know how recruiting going. I wasn't heavily recruited. So I'm like, I'm still thinking in my mind, I still got EKU I'm supposed to go on a visit to. And they told me, like, whatever you do, just don't commit. Like, just give us a chance, this and that. I'm like, so I'm making up stuff. I said I got my aunt with me. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. I just want to go back home and talk to my mom about it and talk to some other people that helped me with my recruiting. And he was like, all right, cool, I understand that. But he kept it frank. He was like, I understand that, but just know we still recruiting X, Y, and Z. So he left the room. My aunt was like, what are you talking about? Like, what you got to go talk about? Why you got to know your mom going to be ecstatic of you getting this opportunity and you over here trying to play around and this and that. So that Saturday night, they left me with the players. And then Sunday, before I had got on my flight, got in the meeting with Coach Oliver and with my aunt, Coach Oliver, and his office coordinator at the time. And then just ended up committing before I had left. And then signed February, reported in July, and then the rest was history.
And did you feel like you had something to prove once you got to Central, man?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna sit up here and give you a tell. Going into my freshman year of getting to Central, I already kind of put it in my mind. Like, it's kind of weird to say out loud, but I know how my mind operates. But I kind of put in my mind that I was gonna be bottom of the depth chart or something along those lines. So I wasn't coming in expecting to start. And he told me that beforehand. It was like, yeah, we're not just gonna give you the starting spot. You can earn it, but we're not just going to hand it out to you. We still got guys here. We got older guys in, this and that. So I kind of came in with an expectation. You know what? I'm going to just put my best foot forward anytime we're having workouts, practice, or whatever it be, and I'm going to do my best to know the offense. So if my number do get called, I'm ready. So really coming in, I didn't expect to prove anybody wrong or to prove anything other than that, you know, I'm going to just put my best foot forward. And then luckily, I had that mindset. It played into my favor. Like I said, going into the third game, I ended up playing a little bit. Then, I think going into the second game, I ended up playing. Then the third game, I ended up starting because during camp, I was like the fifth string or fourth string quarterback. And then during camp, one of the quarterbacks, who was the older guy, got transferred in. He ended up getting hurt, and that he was done for the season. So I'm bumped up. And then going into the first two games, they got the first string and the second string. And I'm third, and I'm just traveling just for depth purposes. And then one of the second string ended up entering the transfer portal. And then the first string during, I want to say, I think it was Townsend going to Austin P. I think it was Austin P. But he ended up, in the first quarter, I believe, he ended up getting hurt. He ended up hurting his thumb on his thorn finger. So I got thrown into the fire. And that kind of just messed up his season, too, because he was recovering. And like I said, I did prior to like that summer when I got there, this first summer session I got there, I made it my job to know the offense, to know everything I was supposed to do in this offense, and knowing that I don't have any kind of doubt as far as what the play is or what play call they calling out there, that they can give me any play or whatever, that I know it. So it kind of played into my favor. Once he got hurt, I ended up playing, and then just never looked back from that point.
Well, obviously, man, your confidence excelled and accelerated after you got an opportunity, and going into your junior and senior years, man, your confidence grew even stronger because, it's tough being a leader, man. It's just tough being a leader. And some guys, they want to be the leader, but they don't always do all the things necessary that you got to do. I'm sure Coach Oliver appreciated you being the type of player, quarterback, and leader you were, man, because it bared out that they made the right choice in making you a selection to be a part of their program and giving you that scholarship. And it paid big dividends, man, big dividends for you guys. So kudos. So did you know anything about North Carolina Central before you got there, Davius?
No. I'm not even only the HBCUs I've known growing up, even heading to leaving my senior high school was FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. And that's because I'm from Florida. And I know they play the Classic every year. Even just talking HBCU in general, like I didn't really know too much about it. Like I went on a couple college tours to both of those schools. And of course, all the FBS schools, the PWI schools up in Florida. But I didn't know nothing about North Carolina Central before I got there.
Well, I'm laughing because when you say the only two schools, I'm like, yeah, I know which two he's gonna say because hey, he right here in Florida, and hey, of all the schools for black college, we only got 4, and of course, those two stand out because of primarily the Florida Classic. But I'm asking that because, man, I just got to know. So if you didn't know anything about Central, you didn't have any clue as to what that rivalry between Central and A&T was like, because it's just like FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, but my one thing I would love to know: did you ever hear about the greatest quarterback at Central before you got there?
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Earl Harvey, if I'm not mistaken.
The one and only Earl Air Harvey.
Yes, sir. I know about him.
Did you? Okay, so you've met him, I'm sure.
I don't think I haven't met him in person yet.
Okay, well that's a date that's going to come to pass. But I remember him back in the 80s, man. He put Central's football program on the map because that's all you would hear about from up in Carolina was Earl Air Harvey. So it's like, wow. And I never really saw him play, but I was really aware of what he was doing and knew how phenomenal he was and how everybody just, loved him. And, when everybody is on that bandwagon for you, man, it's like you can do no wrong. Everybody, loves you. So I asked because I know when you started doing what you did, everybody just knew. What was the nickname they call you when you were up at Central, man?
They snug it in the Green-Eyed Bandit.
The Green-Eyed Bandit.
Yeah.
I get it. So with all the things that happen up there at Central, man, what has it been like to now know that? And I'm not wanting it to be a question that's kind of hard to answer, but what does it feel like now to know that you're a legendary North Carolina Central football player?
Honestly, to this day, I still kind of try to fathom with the fact that I was able to accomplish everything I was able to accomplish throughout my time there. Right. A lot of my teammates, a lot of fans, coaches, they always say, you know what, you're going to go down, get your jersey, tie your X, Y, and Z, this and that. But I never kind of viewed it from that point, especially during when I am, because all I was focused on is just trying to make the team as best as it could be, winning games, getting first downs, moving the ball down the field. So I never really fed into it because at the end of the day, no matter how great my season was or how great the game was, it was still something better that I could have done. Like, it was something still to be built upon. So It was kind of like throughout my years there, I was always focused on, like, how can I get better? How can I get better? Not focused on, I just this amazing game, or I just had an amazing season, or this and that, et cetera, et cetera. It's more so just focus on like, how can I get better as far as the quarterback? How can I get better as a leader? How can I put this team in a better position to win games? So even to hear it sometimes, or people be like, "You're a legend at Central," or this and that, it's still like, it's still surreal at the time, because it's like it hasn't set in all the way. Like I still get a couple. If I come back like this past fall, came back from homecoming, got a lot of hoots and the glimmers from the fans and former players and things of that nature. A lot of people around town still recognize me from my playing days, asking for pictures and things of that nature. Yep. So it's still kind of like still fresh to me.
Yeah. Well, I get that, man, because at your age, you haven't even hit 30 yet, and for you to have accomplished all you did, you did what you came there to do. You did everything that was asked of you to do, and so the end result is, okay, I did what was asked. I did what I came to do, and okay, so yeah, I will get hit with this name, and maybe when you turn 40, it'll sink in a little bit better. Like, you know what? I'm very humble and honored to just be recognized that way, man, because obviously folks thought a lot of me and what I did. And I'm thankful because, and I know you really, really, really appreciate your teammates, because without them, none of your success would have happened. But, you guys, y'all did some things, man. I mean, champions, MEAC champions, Black National College, all conference, all American. I mean, yeah, you did everything was asking you, Davius, and I was only asking the question because I know, man, to be walking around and people, let me take a picture, can I have an autograph, all that kind of stuff. You're like, wow, man, I hadn't done that in 4 or 5 years. Yeah, man, but you know what? They will never, ever, 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 ever forget you, man. You'll never be forgotten. So just accept it, be humble about it, man, and know that, hey, you did what you're supposed to do and you did your job. So, hey, you're going to be an Eagle legend forever, man. And I'm proud of you. And I'm proud that you're a guy from Florida on top of that, man, because you know how we are in Florida. We take pride in Florida. So that was a great thing. Absolutely. So now since, college days are over, and I don't really want to go into the issue about your injury, because I was really hurt when that happened. What are your plans right now? What are you trying to do right now?
So yeah, not gonna touch on, everybody know what happened. I messed up my ankle, but God blessed me in a different way. Obviously, At that point in time, it wasn't my career path that He had for me to go play professional, and I had to deal with it. But He's blessing me in a different way, though. He's allowed me to get into the coaching world. There you go. I'm back at my alma mater, back at coaching, and helping the quarterbacks, and trying to doing my best to give everything that I learned from my 45 years there and pour it back into the players, and not only just on the field, but also off the field. So right now I'm coaching the quarterbacks, trying to be the best I can in that aspect.
So what has it been like, man, for them guys to call you coach?
It's been, it's still a little fresh, because also like it's not a lot, but it's still some guys that I played with. But so that's the kind of funny thing. When I hear them call me coach, it's a little funny. They giggle. But even though I played with them, they still respect me as a coach. They see the kind that I put in when I was a player, the things that I did. So me coming back as coach, they respect that, because they know what I accomplished. They know how I attack my everyday life as far as my work ethic and things of that nature. So they respect me as a coach, even though we may play together or we may hunt together back when I was playing and things of that nature. But it's been great, man. I can't complain.
So if you are now coaching, what are one or two of the most important things you try to work with or teach these young quarterbacks coming up under your guidance?
I think one of the most important things I feel like is composure.
Mm-hmm.
Maintain that mental game in your head when, if you have a good play or you have a bad play, being even killed. Coach Oliver says a lot. We're going to have a thermostat mentality, and I try to push that towards the players also, because sometimes, they want to be perfectionists, but they might miss a throw or might make a bad play and they might let that weight down on them, and that's going to affect them throughout their entire day or throughout the entire practice. But just learning from, all right, I may have thrown a pick or I might have thrown a bad ball, but what can I learn from that so I don't do it again? So that's probably one of my top ones. Just that, and then just knowing that, and also just taking what the defense gives you. Just knowing the flow of the game, knowing when it's the time to force something, when it's the time to take something downfield, when it's the time just to take a 1 or 2 yard game when we need it. Just not forcing anything. Just let the game come naturally. You on the field with 4 to 6 other playmakers who are really playmakers. Like I was never the most athletic on my team or the most agile. It was the guys that was around me, my receivers, my tight ends, my running back. And just knowing that I can get them the ball, they can do all the work. Whether that's a flat route, they turn it to a 60-yard touchdown, or whether that's a post route and they just catch and run. And just understanding that, like just taking what defense give you, because at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is move the chains. That's how you score a touchdown. You move the chains. Get first down, continue to get first down. Next thing you know, you're first and goal. Now you got to put it in the box. So understanding that aspect of the game. And then also the mental side of it. So along with that, just knowing, being prepared as far as what the defense is trying to do. That when that just comes with throughout the week in practice, when we going whatever team period we on, or we're doing defensive scout period or whatever, and also film, being able to watch film on your own to recognize certain identifications or signals that defense may give you to dictate what they're gonna be in or what kind of pressure they're gonna be in. Cause I feel like that's, for me as a player, that would really excel my game within my junior and senior season, was really tying into those things and really digging into that film and understanding what the defense is trying to do, what their tendencies on these downs, or just the overall thing of the overall understanding of the defense you may be trying to go against, or you going against, not trying to go against. And so that's kind of right now, is probably the 3 most important things. Also fundamentals and technique and mechanics falling into play, but that's kind of the second hand part of it, because the game is really like 90% mental, 10% physical.
Yeah. Well, Darius, I know that you are going to be an outstanding coach, man, because you've taken all this in stride. You understand how life is and what you've been blessed with and what you've been given. We got someone, Amanda's just blowing up our private chat, man, with all these compliments about you and your toughness and your composure and temperament. So thank you, Amanda, for bearing this out. But my brother, my friend, I wish we had more time, and I look forward to getting back with you again. But I got to do one of the most important things we do with our show every week and every time we have a quarterback on, because there's nothing more important to us here at Quarterback Back in the Post Route than having conversations and getting to know guys and keeping this legacy about Black quarterbacks alive and well. And it is our honor to inform you tonight that by you coming on the show, it now makes you a member of the fraternity called Quarterback Back and the Brotherhood of Black Quarterbacks. So we welcome you, Davius Richards, to being one of the brothers in this esteemed fraternity that we are building. And we look forward, man, to hearing more things about you and you continuing to do great things.
Man, I really appreciate it. It's an honor. I'm already knowing there's some great guys in here, some legends in here, and I'm just able to say and associate my name with it. So, I mean, it's definitely a pleasure.
Very good. Well, I tell you what, if you would just stay on the line after I close out the show, I'd just like to talk with you just a little bit more if you got time. But right now, we would like to thank Davius Richards for being on the show. He's now a member of Quarterback Back, and we are happy that he was able to arrive at his destination safely. Until next Monday night, I'm Earl Kitchings for the Post Route, saying, hey, as we always say, go deep and go for the bomb. Take care, everybody. Talk to you later.